Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video, and this video should be a bit of a banger because I spent a fair bit of time researching, so hopefully it's good for you guys. So we are going to be covering Futmas, which is EA's promo for December basically. I'm going to try and run through this one fast because I actually did record this video and it took 40 minutes and I was like, yeah, if I had a little bit more energy, you know, if we went for a little bit faster it probably would be less brain numbing to go through. So we will be covering loads of different stuff in this video. We'll be covering what EA did last year. We'll cover the sort of requirements they wanted. We'll cover what they did last year compared to the year before. We'll talk about how you can invest, the sort of like generic low investments, the high rate investments, the inform investments, and then we can invest in after Futmas. So let's keep the tempo up. We are going to jump over to Foothead. Now on Foothead I can see an archive of every single SBC that EA did last year, and basically show you what you can do for this year. So what is Futmas? Futmas is a promo that runs from the 15th to the 24th, where EA celebrate, I guess, Christmas as such, and they normally do 3 players every single day with a generic SBC on top of that. These players are either ascending or descending from 30 to 1. And obviously we get day 1, we'll either get 1, 2, 3, or we'll get 30, 29, 28. And then on top of that, what they did last year compared to this year is they've given us a generic SBC every day. So right here, you guys can't fully see, we've got a 35k pack, and they just wanted some sort of generic requirements, which we'll move into in a bit. So, I guess we'll talk about what they want. So we'll start off right here with Aspilicueta. Aspilicueta was an 87 red Futmas card, was a day 1 sort of Futmas card, and the sort of requirements he wanted was 2 Spanish players, 2 Prem players, 1 Team of the Week / Foot Chance players, so that's your player pick, 86 rating and 70 chemistry. So of course from this, we saw a lot of Spanish players from the Prem got, because it killed off 2 requirements. 2 birds with 1 stone. Here's the sort of teams people were building for it. Pretty sure seeing Spanish players, a lot of Prem players, and you know, a fair bit. It was a pricey one if I don't, you know, remember too badly. The players normally start off quite cheap at the beginning of Futmas, and then go up and up and up due to consistently being required day after day after day. Yeah, which is pretty interesting. And yeah, there you go. That's Aspilicueta. That's kind of like a high-end player. Moving on to more of a mid-end player, although it actually didn't. We got 86 Herrera right here. Same sort of requirements. 3 Spanish, 2 Prem, 1 Team Week / Foot Chance player, 85 rated and 70 chemistry. Again, the sort of players we're seeing go up is Morata, Herrera, and Morata. Just these sort of players, again, were killing off more than 1 requirement. And I do remember these players going up very, very nicely. There was some absolutely insane money to be made on this. So again, just showing you that they want players from the home nation of the player, the home league of the nation, so home league of the player, an inform of the player, a foot chance player, and you know, obviously high chemistry and rating to make it a little bit pricey. Moving on to the last one right here, and that is going to be Mr. 86 Koscielny. And again, same story, 3 French, 2 Prem, 2 informs, 85 rated and 70 chemistry. This is actually a very popular card due to there not being too many Premier League good centre backs. So that is an example of last year's SBCs. To give you an example of the packs here, and this is what they give us daily. Here we got a 35k pack. What did they want? They wanted a 77 rated team with 100 chemistry. Very easy to do. You're paying about 6-7k for a 100k pack. There is a lot of money to be made in these cheap players, because of course a lot of people are doing the SBCs, which move us on to the teams and the players you can invest in. So we have many a team ready for you guys to go in, or many a players you can go and buy. First of all, we'll start with cheap, and I'll walk you through these. So these are a lot of players that did very well for Black Friday, and they should do well for Futmas just due to, you know, specifics or requirements. So move on to we'll start with Argentina and end off with, like, I guess, Liga NOS. So Argentina right back. There are only 2 gold right backs on this game. One being Zabaleta, one being Baristos. Both of them rise from about 1k to at least 3k to even 5k for Zabaleta whenever a team needs a high amount of leagues, but 1 nation. So Zabaleta, due to a lack of right backs, is very good. Moving on to Saudi, same sort of scenario. There is 1 rare, 5 non-rare Argentinian gold left backs. Very good investment. We saw this guy go from about 7... Actually, no, he was a little bit more expensive. You don't have to go with the players right here. You just got to go with the filter. So it's Argentinian right backs and Argentinian left backs. You don't have to go with exactly Saudi and Zabaleta and so on and so on with the rest of these. But someone maybe like Mas, who is another gold Argentinian left back, we're going from 500 coins all the way up to like 2k for the Black Friday SBCs, just due to their, you know, needing some interesting requirements. So now moving on to Brazilian goalkeepers. The thing about Brazilian goalkeepers is there is 1 rare of Neto, and then about 7 non-rares. You've got like Volpe, Gomez, bunch of guys in the Liga NOS, and these guys end up going from about 500 coins to 2k. Why do they do that? Because everyone uses Brazilian for generic SBCs, but the one position they do lack in is goalkeeper. Of course, as I said, there's one rare, which is Neto, who's going to be about 3-4k, maybe 5 because of the Futmas, and obviously therefore there's a lot of demand on the goalkeepers, all being non-rare, therefore they do go up a fair bit. Then move ahead over to English right backs and left mids. English right backs, you have Kieran Trippier, the rest of them are then non-rare. Everyone always goes for the Prem, very good investment. Likewise with left mid, you've got Rashford, that's it, and then the rest are non-rare. These actually went up really nicely, about 3-4k for Black Friday. Here comes your best investment to go of chat, which is Deprevo and Coco. The Liga, for how big of a league it is, only has 2 gold French left mid / left wings, both being non-rare. Now there are more Liga left wings, and there are more French left wings and left mids, but there's only 2 from the home Liga nation. So there are French Liga guys left back, right back, centre mid, striker, but the positions which they lack in heavily is left mid. So if you're trying to get the strong links via Liga Nation, he is well, a very good card to pick up. Right mids, likewise, there's 5 non-rares though, and 1 rare, but obviously the left wings being a lot better with there only being 2, and both being non-rare. Next thing we're going to move on to is going to be the Germans. Of course, we saw this most recently with Jadon Sancho's SBC, with these guys getting expensive. These left mids going from anywhere from about 700-800 coins all the way up to about 2.5k. Right backs moving anywhere from 700-800 coins to 3k, and left backs moving from 700 coins all the way up to about 1.5k. So loads and loads of money on these. We'll then head over to the Liga NOS, from the Portuguese from the Liga NOS. Relatively big league, you know, a lot of people end up going with this, a little bit like the Superliga. And, well, they have about 4 Portuguese Liga NOS centre-backs, 2 or 3 left-backs and 2 or 3 right-backs, so that makes them a very good investment. Again, these centre-backs would end up going for about, I think about 6-7k in the end, just due to how rare they were for Black Friday, which is pretty insane, so that's sort of generic SBCs. Then we got Italy Calciare, which, as you can see right here, is, you know, has 3 decent players. Right back's really decent because the only rare is Florenzi, which you're not going to use, so therefore you can only use non-rares. These recently went up to 2.5k for Black Friday from about 700-800 coins. Left back's not so good because you got Crescito bringing the prices down, but nonetheless still pretty decent. 600-700 coin investments, going to be flipping them for about 2k. And left mids are very, very good because there is literally like no cheap Italian left wings. You've got like El Shaarawy, Spinoza, I think a few guys there from Sassuolo. So very, very good on the back of the non-rare. So that is, again, your generic SBCs. Very, very good investments. All the cards are in for about 500 coins for a non-rare. Maybe up to about 800-900 coins for a rare. Now, that is that done. Now onto the players. As I say, we're going to try and keep it really fast tempo because, obviously, I don't want to be too boring for you guys. We're going to move on to the low informs. And right here, we've got cheap informs that obviously don't really contribute too much chemistry-wise, or they're just basically some of the cheapest for their rating. So we've got these 2 right here. You're going to be paying about 11k. The Liga, you're going to get links to your Liga guys. Very, very chill and safe. Said about this is actually your best investment you can probably go for at the moment if you want to go with informs. Silvestre is about 11k, but he's a counter-rate centre-back from the who's Italian, which obviously offers a lot of really good links. We're obviously seeing the counter being used in SBCs left, right, and centre. I do believe he is an extremely, extremely good investment. And obviously there is a lack of high-rated centre-backs because we see the likes of Rugani, Romagnoli, and Acerbi recently rise up to about 2-3k because, as I say, you're literally going with Buzz Zackley is about 7-8k or an 82, but obviously going for an 81, you're only losing out 1 chemistry, but you're banging in an inform, which is pretty decent. Olsen, of course, lots of high-rated centre-backs on the couch rate, pretty cheap, you know, not bad investments in about 12k. These are about 19k. They don't really offer too many good links apart from Ziyech to Benashi and maybe a few of the other Eredivisie guys, but they're very, very cheap 84 rated informs for about 18k. Then head over to Luis Adriano. Again, not really too much going for him. Cheapest 82, saying about 12k for an 82, which is actually really good. Obviously, a few links of Brazilians like Jonas, Giuliano, Paulinho, and so on, so on. So it's not that bad. Likewise with Gignac, cheapest 83 rated inform. Links to the French guys, no good Mexican league links. But he's saying about 718k, which makes him not a bad investment. So the next squad, so many players, is over to Team Informs, and this is a full squad. So we will try and rapid fire this one. Rashina, sent about 1250. Really no high rated right mids in the Bundesliga. You got Bellarabi and Informed Thorvin. It's not Informed Thorgan Hazard, sorry. That's it. Sent about 1250. Decent investment. Then heading over to Juan Jordan. Of course, he's linking up to all the Spanish La Liga guys, your Iniestas, your Parejos, your Sal's and so on, which makes him a very, very nice investment. Then I have Andre Moy. At this current point, he's the cheapest Premier League in form, which is actually kind of mad because, of course, they want a lot of Premier League players for Futmas. So he'd be very good. Of course, there is actually like 2 weeks, even longer than that, like 2.5 weeks between now and Futmas. So there'll be loads of cards that are changing, but you can easily use this as a basis if you're watching this video 2 weeks later, I guess. But yeah, obviously Prem in form for about 15k, decent. Sylvester, I talked about earlier, amazing links. You're paying 11k for him. Very solid. Moving on to the Bundesliga defenders. With left backs, honestly, the highest rated non-informed Bundesliga left backs, 78k. Sorry, 78 rated. Therefore, Jedvat for about 13k to actually be higher rated than any other German Bundesliga left back. Apart from, of course, Alaba or Jordi Alba. One of them. David Alaba, sorry. Yeah, it's pretty decent. Then I have Lang. Of course, there's quite a lot of high-rated Bundesliga right backs, but nonetheless, he's decent. 12k investment, very easy to slot in there with a lot of the high-rated, high-chem guys. Also, a lot of the cheap informs, as you can see. Orbinson, about 13, 14k. Again, there's a lack of high-rated German Bundesliga centre-backs, and therefore he can easily be used without having to compromise on too much rating. Quite a lot of high-rated players. Caligari, likewise, you know, very easy to link him with a lot of high-rated. Send about 17k you want to pay for him. Nani, can link him with a lot of your Liga NOS players in the left mid. Left mid's a position where there's a lack of players. Going to be paying about 20k for Nani. Baldo Diao, there's a lack of high-rated left mids in the couchway because you go from El Shaarawy of 81 all the way up to 86 of Perisic. Guess you actually have the inform El Shaarawy right there. But yeah, Baldo Diao for about 17k's. Going to be a good investment. Sam Mina and Santi Cazorla, same sort of thing. Probably the best League and Nation combo for, you know, a lot of cheap players. You know, you can link them up to Sal with strong links, Parejo with strong links, Iniesta, and so on and so on. As I say, really decent for 17k's, pretty good. João Mario, pretty old in form, of course, now linking to loads and loads of decent Inter Milan informs of Vencinio, Balde Diao, and so on, so really decent for 22k. Batshuayi linking up with all your high-rated Liga players, sit about 20k for really decent investment. El Shaarawy, as I said earlier, lack of high-rated left mids in this FIFA, on top of Couchway, so for 22k, very good investment. Pablo Sabria is a little bit expensive, I think it's about 26, so would want to get him 24 and under. Of course, getting loads of good La Liga links, and is quite an old in form, therefore it can be kind of rare and could fluctuate quite nicely. Stuani, cheapest 85 rated in form, gets loads of decent La Liga links, can be trying to buy him for about 22. Allison, you want to buy for about 32, or any 86 rated in forms, near enough, for about 32, because to increase a 85 to an 86 is about 8k, therefore to increase an 85 rated in form to an 86 rated in form, if you can keep that around about 8k, it's going to be solid because it's going to make it into the cheapest scenarios, but of course these cards are a lot rarer than golds, therefore go up a bit more. And Pjanic does the same sort of thing, you know, if you can pick him up for about 42k, costs about 10k to increase an 86 to an 87, and therefore if you can do that with an inform, it's going to keep the prices, or going to keep them in the cheapest scenarios, and make them very good because they're going to be rare cards and therefore fluctuate quite a lot. So that is informs done, now on to golds. So we're trying to make sure it's, you know, nice fast tempo for you guys so we don't keep it too boring for you. And we have got, what do I want to keep? So we've got informs, high rated, gold rated is hopefully what I need. Indeed it is. So this is basically a team of players that are low rated golds but very good for chemistry. So I'll walk you through them cheap right now. So you've got Laporte 1.5k, only 83 rated centre back other than David Luiz, can be very good to link up because David Luiz is normally expensive. Also he's French, therefore really good you know, nation. Got Nacho Fernandez. There's literally a lack of high rated La Liga Spanish players. You've got Bartra and Ruiz who are 82 rated, but no like 84 or 85 rated, therefore Nacho being the highest rated Spanish La Liga you'd want to use in there. De Vrij just ends up being one of the cheapest, so again you want to pay probably about 1.5k. 3k for De Vrij, ends up being the cheapest Couchway centre back. Easy links to a lot of the Inter players, so 3k is decent. Socrates, the only 84 rated centre back other than Davinson Sanchez. Davinson Sanchez, of course, you're not using an SBCs. You can buy him for about 4k, for for about 7-8k. So we got Marquinhos, who has kind of the same effect as De Vrij. Cheapest 84 rated centre back normally, and again very easy to link up with a lot of the Brazilians and League players. Then over to these two are very, well, very similar. Basically, there's a lack of high-rated Bundesliga centre-backs who are German, and there's a lack of high-rated Italian centre-backs from the Calcio. Therefore, these guys are normally very premium sort of centre-backs. Find their way to about 7 to 10k from a 4 or 5k investment, which is decent. Then have Raul Labial. Yeah, again, another card, same about 3.5k, goes up to a 5-6k, just due to his Spanish and Calcio links. Jimenez, there's a lack of high-rated centre-backs in the Liga, which means Jimenez ends up being a very good centre-back because I think he's the only 84 and can end up going about 7-8k if you hit it lucky. We then have the right backs. We've got Trippier and Bender, who's not actually on there. Buy these guys for about 1.5, sell them for about 3-4k. Lack of high-rated right backs, therefore these guys you'll see are being used a fair bit. And I say they're very good because they also give decent links. Then head over to the one up from Trippier and Bender, and that is Carvajal and Sergio Roberto. Buy these guys for about 4 or 5k. Honestly, we've seen them hit 10k quite a lot, and now with an increased price range, you might see them even hit 12, 13k. Due to a lot of their Spanish and La Liga links, so 5, 6k investments decent on them. Then actually you have Kimmich, which is actually on the other squad. Then move on to left backs, which is Kolarov, Alonso, and Hernandez. Again, if you can buy these for 2k, you can normally flip them for about 4k. Very, very good cards. Lack of high red left backs because the distribution is Felipe Luis, Tellez, and then you go down to Kolarov, Alonso, and Hernandez, making these guys really good for SBCs. Savic, again, lack of high red centre backs in the La Liga, means Savic also fits in there with Nacho. A few of the other guys. Kimpembe, there are literally no high rated French League and centre backs, given a lot of strong links. Therefore, Kimpembe being the highest, second to Rami, or second being Rami, or I guess he is second to Rami's inform card. But yeah, if you buy him for about 2k, flip him for about 3, 4k. Same sort of story with Tar. Buy him for about 1.5k, flip him for about 3k whenever he's good for SBCs. Left mids, there's a lack of high red left mids as FIFA. You've got Coman, Lamar, and Carrasco, and Promes, and normally the cheapos. And again, if you can buy this for about 1.5, should be able to flip them for about 3, 4k. These most recently have gone to again 4k with the what was it? I think it was the Futmas, not Futmas, sorry, the Black Friday SBCs. Then over to right mids, Thorvin's a very good card. You can buy him for about 4k. Not at the moment because he's a team weep, and then flip him for about 7, 8k. He's a very, very nice. I don't understand why, but he's so good this year because there is Di Maria who you could also use, but I guess it's the French links. Then I have Callahan again, another card that goes up to about 6k-ish, so you can get him for about 4k. Pretty decent. And Jonas normally ends up being one of your cheapest save forwards, but links up to every cheap Liga NOS player under the sun, so it's decent. Players I forgot about here is actually Pizzi. Pizzi you can buy for about 1.5, normally sell for about 3k because he gets links to the likes of Jonas, and of course you can use him anywhere from CDN to Cam, which makes him pretty good. He also gets a strong link to Alameda from the other page. Now, finally on to the last team. I say hopefully trying to keep this very fast paced because of, you guys moaned at me in the past. And I did I not love Kimmich on it? I didn't throw Kimmich, that's kind of strange. So Kimmich is very good, he's an 85 red right back. There is again, he's the highest red right back of which you'd actually want to use in SBCs. And he'll set you about 14k, but you should be able to hopefully get 20k back from him. So moving on to centre backs, Company and Alderweireld, same sort of boat right there. Just a high red centre back, some of the best value for money or the cheapest Prem players. So whenever you need high red Prem, can be good for that. Manolas fits in the same group as Miranda and Skriniar. Just a Calcio is very, very cheap to use, gets lots of decent links. And yeah, we always see this Calcio being used in basically the cheapest scenarios in Futbin. Koke, lack of high red left mids, therefore that's why Koke, Brahimi, As, and Asensio do normally pretty well. There he is. Because there is a, I'm heavily investing in them right now because they're cheap, but you can buy them for about, buy these by the way for about 10k-ish. Everyone about, maybe the left mids for maybe 11k, pay 1k more for them, for the left and right mids. Because again, these normally end up about 17, 18k, very, very good investments. So moving on to right mids, there is a actual heavy lack of high red right mids because we have 85s of Sterling, Mahrez, and Robben. But then I guess you have loads of 84s, which means their price doesn't go too mad. But then we've got the 85s, of course, actually of Aspas and Robben, making them good. Fekir is pretty good. Sinabao, so again, these you want to probably pay 10, 11k for. Fekir, again, another card you need to pay about 9k for. Makes its way into a lot of cheap scenarios, especially when it's central formations. Khedira, Milik Savic, again, you're getting a lot of your catch railings, very, very good pickups. Brahimi, as we said earlier, very cheap card. Moving on to a few of the high rate cards. Actually, no, we'll go through Sal first. Sal, again, high rated La Liga. He is an extremely good card. We'll see him go for about 11k. So he's the same as the left mids, but he goes up so much to about 20k. In the past, we've then got Parejo. Parejo, you're going to be looking at buying for about, what is he? From Norring, about 18k. Goes up to about 25, 27k, just because he gets some Spanish links. Left mid, we've got Perisic. Perisic only recently has dropped, so we haven't really seen him rise too much. But as I was saying, with there not being too many high-rated wide players, he's actually really, really decent. Picking up for about 16.5. He's the cheapest also, or one of the cheapest of the 86s. That's actually his Champions League card. But you end up buying him for about 16k as well. Because he ends up, again, being one of the cheapest for his rating. There you go, Perisic. And obviously I have an investment right there myself. We've got the few last players right here. Rakitic, just a very cheap 87, good value for money card. And I think about 22k for him. Should be able to return about 28k if he makes into a lot of the teams. Insigne, again, I was just saying, lack of high red left wing, so he can of course be used with the likes of Perisic, a few of the other guys. He's also one of the cheapest of these 88s, making him a safe investment. And finally end it with Hummels, who again is one of the cheapest 88s, and on top of that can also be used in centre back if you need some mad excessive rating. In fact, we recently saw for the Royce POTM, he went up to like, what was he, like 70k or something like that? Like, went up like 20, 30k, just because there is a lack of other high-rated Bundesliga players, so could be pretty good. I remember actually last year or 2 years ago, it was Vidal, where Vidal made you use a full Bundesliga team, and you had to use the likes of Hummels, Neuer, and so on and so on. So if they do a madness like that, you know, he could be a pretty good card, due to literally because the distribution in the Bundesliga is like you're using 85s and 86s, or you're using 81s. Like, there is no middle ground. Left back, 78 is your highest rated. Right back, I guess you got 84, but if you're not using an 84, you're then using an 82. Centre backs, if you're not using an 86, you're using I guess you got an 83 and an 84, which aren't bad. Goalkeepers, you've got an 84 being your highest. Right mid, if you're not using Robin, an 85, you're using an 80 of Bellarabi. Left mids, if you're not using an 85 Ribery, you're using an 83 Coman. And it's basically like, if you're not using a very high, you're using a middle of the pack, which as a result means, you know, Neuer and Hummels can be used for those sort of SBCs. So hopefully this was decent, because again, I do get you guys talk that you know, these videos take a while, so I've tried to, you know, spam it out pretty fast. Hopefully it's been a good video. Feel free to drop feedback. I don't know, maybe I've spoke too fast this video. Who knows? Make sure to drop me some feedback. I'll go plug a few things. If you want to check my Twitter, I do tweet when I stream and upload a YouTube video. Obviously, like the video if it's been helpful. Obviously, you can subscribe if you want to see more content. I'm going to try and get daily content, which should be good. Check out the Twitch. I do stream every day. You can subscribe over there for a, well, with Amazon Prime for free. You get daily trading guides, which isn't too bad. And yeah, I think that's about it. So thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow with another video. And hopefully this Futmas video ends up being helpful. I say I went through loads of investments. Hopefully I gave you a lot of information. You know, I'll be investing very heavily on this. So you know, hopefully, you know, that gives you a bit of confidence and such. But cheers for watching the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.